ADHD and addiction, wired for more. ADHD and addiction often go hand in hand, not because we're broken, but because we've been trying to quiet the chaos inside. We chase relief, not rebellion. And when the world labels us lazy, impulsive, or out of control, we start to believe it. That is the voice of shame. That is the inner critic. It tells us we're too much and somehow still not enough. But the truth is, we are wired differently, not defectively. The stigma doesn't speak for us. The shame doesn't define us. And that voice in your head that only knows how to criticize, well, it's a liar. There's another voice, and it's quieter, but it's deeper inside of you, and it's the voice of truth. The voice that says you are not alone, and you are not beyond help, and you are not your past, and you are more than your mistakes. That quiet, deeper voice, the voice of truth, will let you know that you are worthy of recovery, you are worthy of compassion, and you are worthy of peace. Because people like us are wired for more. This episode of The Recovery Couch is brought to you by J.B. Davis at Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. For integrity, service, and unbeatable deals, ask for J.B. in Centerville and tell them The Recovery Couch sent you. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to The Recovery Couch. You are listening to Wired for More, a 12-part mini-series exploring how ADHD and addiction collide. This series will explain what healing looks like on the other side. I'm your host, Brandon Couch, and my book, Step 4, A Journey Through Addiction, is coming this fall. If you want to help support its release, go to Kickstarter.com and search Help Publish Step 4. One of the most difficult truths of recovery is that we cannot recover from the things that we are hiding. And for a long time, I hid behind shame. Shame for the things that I did while using drugs. Shame for the things I didn't do because of ADHD. Shame for the people that I let down. And shame for how often I let myself down. And then there's the stigma, the outside noise. People saying you're lazy, unreliable, dangerous, a drug addict, or you're just weak. You're mentally weak. Why don't you just quit? And when you hear that shit long enough, you start to believe it, and that's what you start to tell yourself. And before long, you don't even need anyone else to tear you down because you do a fantastic job of doing it your damn self. You've got an inner critic that lives inside of you telling every little thing that you're not doing right. You're a screw up. You'll never get it together. Everyone else is moving on. Why are you still stuck? And that voice is loud. And if we're not careful, that voice can become our identity. But here's the truth. Shame is not the same thing as accountability. Stigma is not the same thing as truth. And your inner critic is not the voice of God. My healing started when I stopped agreeing with shame. My healing started when I stopped saying that I am the problem and I started saying I have a problem, but I'm working on it. And that shift in my life was everything. So if you're battling that voice today, the one that keeps dragging you backward, then I want you to know you are not your ADHD diagnosis. You are not your alcohol or drug addiction, and you are not what you did in the worst seasons of your life. You, my friend, are just like me, and you were wired for more. This episode of The Recovery Couch is powered by True Story Media. True Story Media is a faith-based company committed to helping people like you tell the truth and tell it out loud and unashamed. Whether it's your testimony, your podcast, or your book, True Story Media will help you share it with the world. Visit www.recoverycouch.com to get started today. In most cases, ADHD goes undiagnosed until adulthood, especially in individuals who mask symptoms with high achievement or intense activity. Shame is one of the most powerful triggers for addiction and relapse because it drives us to isolation and secrecy. And stigma? Well, stigma keeps people sick. Many delay treatment programs or hide their struggles due to fear of judgment or rejection. We need to learn to love those who are diagnosed with ADHD or who suffer from the disease of addiction, as opposed to condemning them with judgment. If you would like to be part of a deeper conversation, then please join the Recovery Couch Inner Circle on Patreon. You'll get early access to episodes, bonus content, and monthly Q&As where we dive into questions like the one you just heard today. And coming soon to the Recovery Couch, we're welcoming Michael Thompson, author of The Heart of a Warrior. We're also welcoming Henry Wannery, pastor and author of Procrastination. So looking forward to those episodes. If you haven't already, go and check out the episode we just released with Ryan Canaday, pastor and founder of Free Recovery Community in Denver. It is a fantastic conversation, and I think you will love it. And don't forget, to help bring Step 4 into the world, visit Kickstarter.com and search Help Publish Step 4. Every dollar helps spread this message of recovery and redemption. Finally, I'd like to thank you for being here today. That voice in your head, the inner critic, he doesn't get the final say. Your story is not over, and you are not alone in the fight, because you, my friend, just like me, were wired for more. This episode of the Recovery Couch is brought to you by Greg Swartz at Remax Victory and Affiliates. Whether you're buying or selling your home, Greg brings heart, hustle, and honesty to every deal. Call Greg at 937-477-8975 today. Addiction and ADHD, wired for more. In this episode, we peeled back the layers of ADHD, addiction, shame, stigma, and our relentless inner critic. We talked about what happens when a restless mind goes untreated and turns to unhealthy ways of coping. We explored how society's labels become our internal dialogue and how the voice that once belonged to others becomes our own. And it whispers lies to us about who we are and what we're worth. But we also pushed back. We challenged the narrative. We reminded ourselves that being wired differently doesn't mean we're broken, but it does mean that we need a different kind of healing. That addiction is often rooted in pain, not choice. And that shame grows in silence, but it dies in community. If this episode hit home, you are not alone. You are not too far gone. And you don't have to keep living with that critic in your head running the show. Don't forget to check out the Patreon, the Kickstarter, because this mission is more than just a podcast and a book. This message is about providing hope to those who feel hopeless. I want everyone out there to remember that you, my friend, always have a seat right here on the Recovery Couch.